I want to tell you that clean elections will save us all a lot of money in all different kinds of areas. The first one is this will save our city money in the form of the fact that we will not have to be giving away any sort of kickbacks, any sort of tax breaks, any sort of incentives for the politicians who get elected that way. So the city we won't be putting out money that way anymore when we get candidates who are elected for public financing.
I served 24 years on the Tempe City Council, 16 as mayor, a period of the most rapid growth and development in Tempe's history. And I never saw the power that developers and lobbyists had over this body. I believe clean elections protects incumbents. Political pundits and other political watchers know that incumbents have a built-in advantage. They have name identification and a group of supporters they've used in the past.
One of the patterns I saw, or would even look for, was money that came from outside Tempe to fund our Tempe people running for office. And typically this came from developers. And sometimes their spouses. I mean, you notice the address was the same, and you look stuff up like that. And then you think about, well, have they had business before the council? Because that's the challenge is that you have this conflict of interest because developers have a great interest before the council, and some other people will tell you that police and firefighter unions also have a lot of interest before the council, and they also provide a lot of funding.
All of us know in this room that anyone who is a criminal is probably down and out on their luck to begin with, or being treated as a defendant in our local courts. I don't know if anyone's mentioned, but if you don't pay your fines in court, especially on a criminal ticket, that can result in a warrant almost immediately, and you can go to jail for that, in addition to what you're already facing. Same with a civil fine. If you don't pay your speeding ticket as planned or as ordered, you can receive a suspended license, and then you go and you drive on that, and then you get a criminal violation. So it can all snowball. And yeah, $5 can make a big difference. Basically, I look at this, it's an extreme suggestion, but I'd say it's taxation of the poor, and I'd say it's taxation of minorities.
I think that putting it on the ballot would be such a great idea because I think that voters are smart. Voters are going to become educated about what clean elections
I
are.
would urge everybody to go to the Tempe forum and look at the comments online. I'm the proud owner of the longest one. It's the one that starts, "This is a horrid idea." The key point I would want you to take away from this is that this is an opt-in scenario. This does not prevent special interest money from getting involved in our elections, period. That's it.
Right now we don't have a choice. Our candidates don't have a choice. Their only option to run for public office is through the traditional route, asking individuals for enough money to raise $25,000.
This isn't a national issue, this isn't a state issue, this is our town, and these are our town resources that are being talked about. This is revenue, and it's interesting, I keep hearing the word clean election. No, it's public money. It's our tax money. It is not clean or dirty until you start behaving a certain way.
So a couple of things I want to point out is, one of the things that I've heard from people is this will cost the city money. It will cost the city money, in that it will give candidates money to run. But will it cost the city more money than it will save the city? That's the one I don't know. And I'll give you some examples. I'll give you the example I'm not supposed to say. Just a little while ago, we voted on a $21 million tax abatement to Opus on University Drive. About a week before that vote, a $500 check showed up in the mail from Sunt for my election. I didn't even know who Sunt was, truthfully. But I was like, well, I'll cash your money. It's fine by me. And I cashed the money, and Opus was the developer. And it was only later that I realized that Opus was developing Sunt's property there. I voted no against the project, so I felt like I could sleep at night. Had I thought I was going to vote yes for the project, I would have had to have sent that money back. Because that is headline, you never get reelected again. You got a check on a Monday, you voted yes for a $21 million tax abatement on a Thursday. If even one, and I assume that I'm not the only one who got that check. I have no idea, and frankly you have no idea. Because we don't do campaign finance filings for months and months and months.
Is with the funding stream. It's not your tax dollars. It is the most vulnerable people in our community And that's who we're asking to finance the public ambitions of people of the city.
To say that our city council has no influence from the developers is disingenuous. On the last council, we had a council member who was engaged to the lawyer that represented many development firms in the downtown area. They had to recuse themselves from almost every vote, but that is unprecedented access that developer had to the council.
Having people who may not have power or influence have the option of possibly requesting campaign reform, but yet you're not giving that option to people who are receiving criminal and traffic violations that represent a minority, low income, and it's an equity issue for me, and that's my concern.
Someone said, should we spend the money in a better way, our resources, we can spend our money in a better way. We spend $300,000 a year in Tempe on cleaning products for our bathrooms and our city buildings, $300,000. So I say $100,000 to go to open up the process to people like Juan Mendez or Darlene Tussing or Phil Amorosi, who's running for council, or Ernesto Fonseca. To me, that's a really good expenditure of our funds.